So how do most people buy a stock? Well, they find one they like, they click the buy button, and then they just cross their fingers and hope for the best. But what if I told you there's a smarter way? A way to actually get paid for your patience, to buy the exact stock you want at the price you choose, and generate income while you wait. That's exactly what we're going to dig into today.
Steve here. Before you can run the wheel, you have to master the entry. Today, we're going deep on the cash secured put.
All right, here's the game plan. First, we're going to talk about a smarter way to buy stock. Then, and this is crucial, we'll cover the single most important rule of this entire strategy, the cash secured mandate. After that, we'll get our hands dirty reading an option chain, we'll tackle the big trade-off between probability and premium, and finally, we'll break down the only two ways these trades can end. Sound good? Let's go. Okay, Section 1, a smarter way to buy. Look, it's time we challenge the default way of doing things. Why would you just sit there and wait for a stock to hit your price when you could be making money that whole time? Think about it. On one hand, you've got the standard limit order. You pick your price and your cash just sits there. It's dead money, really. It's not doing a thing for you. But on the other hand, you've got the cash secured put. With this, you're not just waiting. You are actively getting paid to wait. You're basically selling someone else the right to sell you that stock at your dream price, and they pay you cash right up front for that privilege.
This right here, this is the whole philosophy in a nutshell. It's about turning your wait time into pay time. Every single day that your capital would normally be parked on the sidelines, doing nothing, is now a day it can be putting money in your pocket. It's all about making your money work for you, even before you own a single share.
Now, hang on, before we go any further, we have to hammer home the single most important rule of this whole thing. It's the cash secured mandate. And let me be clear, this isn't a guideline, it's not a suggestion, it's what separates smart, disciplined investors from gamblers.
So what does cash secured actually mean? It's simple. It means you have the cold, hard cash already in your account, set aside to buy the stock if it comes to that. We are not talking about margin here. We're not using borrowed money. This strategy is backed by cash you already have. This discipline is what protects you. It means the absolute worst-case scenario is that you end up owning a great stock you wanted anyway at a price you were happy to pay.
And the math on this couldn't be easier. See, one options contract always controls 100 shares of stock. So if you sell a put option with a $50 strike price, you need to have $50 times 100 shares, which is $5,000. That $5,000 has to be sitting in your account earmarked just for this trade, period, no exceptions.
All right, you ready to get into the nitty-gritty? Good. Section 3, reading the option chain. Don't let it intimidate you. This is your command center. This is where all the decisions happen. And I'm going to show you how to zero in on the one number that tells you almost everything you need to know. Here we go. This is what an option chain looks like, boiled down to the essentials. We're going to ignore all the noise and focus on just three things. The strike price, that's the price you want to buy at. The premium, that's the income you're going to collect. And the most important one for us, delta. This is your dashboard. It gives you all the intel you need. So what the heck is delta? Look, forget all the complicated Greek definitions for now. For our purposes, think of delta as a shortcut. It's a quick and dirty estimate of the probability that your option will expire in the money, which just means the stock price ends up below your strike price. In other words, it's a quick way to gauge the odds of you actually having to buy the stock. Now, I'm going to give you my personal rule of thumb here. This is something I've learned from years in the trenches. I always target a delta of 0.30 or even lower. See, a 0.30 delta is telling you there's about a 30% chance you'll be assigned the stock. But just flip that around. That means there's a 70% chance the stock stays above your price and you just walk away with the cash. Those are some pretty great odds, right? It's the sweet spot between getting paid a decent premium and keeping the probabilities firmly on your side.
And that brings us to the fundamental trade-off of selling options. You got to understand this. It's all about probability versus premium. You can't have it all. You can't have maximum safety and collect a massive income at the same time. It just doesn't work that way.
So let's visualize that 0.30 delta. You can see it puts the odds squarely in your favor. You've got roughly a 70% chance of your trade being a simple income play. The option expires worthless, and you keep all the cash. That leaves just a 30% chance of actually being assigned the stock at the price you wanted anyway. The odds are laid out right in front of you before you even place the trade.
Think of it like a seesaw. If you go for a lower delta, say a 0.20, your probability of profit jumps up to about 80%, but the premium you collect gets smaller. Makes sense, right? Less risk, less reward.
Now, if you get greedy and chase a higher delta, like a 0.40, sure, you'll get a much fatter premium check, but now your risk of assignment just shot up to 40%. It's all about finding that balance, and for me, that's right around 0.30.
Okay, let's land the plane. Section 5, and this might be the most important part, the two possible outcomes. People get really worked up about what happens at the end of the trade, but you know what? It's incredibly simple. It's binary. Only one of two things is ever going to happen.
It really just boils down to this. Scenario 1, the stock's price stays above your strike price. Scenario 2, the stock's price drops below it. That's it. That's the whole ballgame. Let's walk through exactly what happens in each one.
So, outcome number 1. This is the goal if you're just looking for pure income. The stock price finishes above your strike price. Fantastic. The put option you sold just expires worthless. You get to keep 100% of the premium you collected at the very beginning, totally free and clear. Your cash gets released and you're ready to go find the next trade. You literally just got paid for doing nothing.
Okay, but what if you're wrong and the stock price does drop? This is outcome number 2. The stock is below your strike when the option expires. Well, you have to honor your side of the deal. You are now obligated to buy 100 shares of that stock at the price you agreed on. But wait a minute, remember why we started? This was the stock you wanted to own at a price you already decided was a bargain. So your goal was met. And guess what? You still get to keep every penny of that premium.
And this right here, this is the real beauty of the strategy. That premium you collected acts like an instant rebate. If your strike price was $50 and you collected a $1 premium per share, your real cost isn't $50, it's $49. You just bought the stock you wanted for even less than your target price.
I really want you to let that sink in. You just bought the stock at a discount. Meanwhile, everyone else who panicked and bought it at the market price of, say, $55 a share, they're now sitting on a pretty nasty loss. You got the stock you wanted, and you got it cheaper than almost anybody else, simply by being strategic.
When you strip it all down, the cash-secured put is the ultimate entry strategy for the disciplined, patient investor. It takes the guesswork out of it. You name your price, you define your terms, and then you get paid to let the market come to you.
So that really leaves just one question. Now that you've seen how this works, how you can generate income, how you can get a discount, how you can take control, are you ready to stop just waiting for your price and start getting paid to wait?